In this video, we're going to talk about the main method. In Java, the main method is a very special method. It's the first method that runs when a program starts. Now, we don't need to create a main method in BlueJ. That's because BlueJ creates one for you. As you would know, BlueJ is designed for you to learn to program Java. So it makes a lot of things easy for you to get up and running. Things like creating objects, running methods. All of these things are made easy in BlueJ so you can concentrate on learning the code. And when you run a program in BlueJ, you do not need to create a main method. BlueJ does it for you behind the scenes. But as you advance with your programming career or move into more advanced Java programming subjects, you are going to have to write a main method. All Java programs have a main method. And when that program starts, the main method is the first method that will run. So it contains the code to start the program, to create the objects, to do things, to get the program going. And the main method always looks like this: public, static, void, main, and then it has an array of strings called args. And then in the main method, we would put the code to start the program. So you don't need to do this in your programming with BlueJ, but if you start using any other sort of IDE, you're going to have to create a main method. So let's have a little bit of a look at it in some code. So you can see here, I have a main method. Now, as I said, the method signature, it's always public, static, void, it's called main, and it has a string array called args. So let's have a bit of a talk about this method signature. We haven't really talked too much about public and private, but we're going to start talking in the coming lessons a lot more about public and private and what it means. So you would know that I tell you to always declare your instance variables private. That means they're not accessible outside of the class they are written in. And there's lots of reasons we do that, which we'll talk about later. Public means they're accessible to the whole world. So when we declare variables and methods, we give them the keyword public or private. There are others, but they're beyond the scope of this video. So we would give them public or private access. Public means anything can access them. Private means they're only accessible to the class they're in. So you can see I have this method here, dialogues. If I was to declare that private, nothing can access it outside of this class. Only other methods in this class can access it. When it's public, anything can access it. So if you think about it, the main method has to be public. It needs to be accessible outside of its class so that it can be called to start the program running. The second thing is it's always static. And as you would know from the previous video, static means it belongs to the class, not the object. Now, if you think about it, the program hasn't started, so we have no objects. So the main method has to belong to a class. We can't create an object till the program starts running. And if the main method wasn't static, we couldn't call it until we have an object. So as it's the first method we're going to call, we have no objects yet, so the main method has to be static. It doesn't return anything, so we use the keyword void as its return type to say that it's not going to return anything. It's always main, so never call any other methods main. That's a special word for the main method, the first method that's going to be called when the program starts running. And it has a string array called args. Now, I won't go into too much detail with that, but it's just so we can pass some parameters to it if we need to. But that's beyond the scope of this. So this is the main method. Always public, always static, always void, always called main, always has a string array called args, and then this is the code that would run when the program first starts.